Hi there. Welcome back to another video. My name is Jennifer, and today I just want to talk a little bit about planning versus journaling and something I've just been trying to figure out or think through the last few days or last few weeks and figure out, I don't know, what my plan is going forward, if I want to change anything, or I don't know. I guess I'm just here to talk out loud to people who care about stationery and planners and journaling and get any feedback anyone has, or just talk it out for myself. But I have a lot of planners sitting here just because I like to show off all the beautiful covers I have. And there I just have a few different ones. This one, I just want to point out, I got a couple from ChicSparrow recently, and I never know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's how I pronounce it. And it was after they rebranded and have their new style, so it has the little feathers on the side and the new written logo on the back, and I just absolutely adore the little feathers that they do on the side. I just think it's so precious and I love it. So I just wanted to show that off. So this is the artist, and I got it in a number 10, but I changed the closure because I like the elastic closure better. I like the snap sometimes, I like the way the snap sounds, but I just, for writing purposes, having that little snap on the front, it kind of bothers me. So yeah, this is a number 10, and it is with a custom closure, and I love it. I love their new logo. And then I just have a couple Mo terms and another older ChicSparrow and a JenikasJournals, which I just absolutely love this weather as well. It's super squishy, and I don't know. I say I love them all, but I keep repeating that, but I do. I just love it. And okay, so here's where my dilemma comes from. Well, and also I just want to point out that this is the Mo term apricot, and I really want to see it patina, and I see other people's, and I have a week's size in apricot that has gotten more use, and I do see patina develop, and it has gotten softer. So I really just want to see this character in this one, if I can get it to, if I use it more consistently. So I have been using it for the last week or two pretty consistently. Sometimes I switch it up. Since I have so many options, it's hard not to switch it up every day, but I've been trying to stick with this one and see how it will develop, and I want to see if it becomes a little squishier. So I'm going to set these to the side and bring them out as I need them, but just so we have a little more space. So here is where my dilemma has been coming from the last few weeks, and just thinking about it the last few days. As if you've seen other videos that I've made, I have talked about how I use 3 of these per year, and you can go and watch another video where I go into more detail about how I use 3 of them. It's because I use 2 pages per day for my journaling, and it just fills up more pages. Obviously, I need more space. So here's where I'm at. So the last time I filled out a weekly was the first week of October. When I'm filming this, it's the first week of November. So I have 3 blank weeks in my journal, my planner, that I have yet to fill in. And I struggle so much because I really want to be a weekly planner. Maybe my problem is I need to write down why I want to be a weekly planner. I like the way it looks when it's filled in. I just think it looks nice, and that's mostly it. And I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but when I do fill this in, I don't ever very rarely might I reference my schedule on the weekly page for review, but mostly all of my activities that the kids are in, the apps that we use for their sporting activities, you can sync the calendar to your phone calendar, and so I can see all the activities right in my calendar on my phone. And so when it comes to the weekend and I have to look at when the games are, I always reference that first to see anyway, because in that location I can also see what time they're expected to arrive, and I can also very quickly click on the location and see, you know, if it's out of town, how long it takes me to get there. And so I don't come in here and I don't say, oh, they have practice on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Plus, I have that memorized every week. Sometimes it can change, but again, that's where I would use the team app to look at when any changes happen. So I'm really, really struggling with if I want to be a weekly planner or not. And as I've talked about before, I have not used the monthly pages either. As much as I want to, like I think using the monthly pages would be most advantageous probably for me, because I could quickly get an overview of what weekends will be out of town. They do a lot of travel soccer, and so we travel a lot on the weekends for soccer tournaments. So that would give me a quick overview reference for what weekends will be out of town. But again, I don't know if, and I have yet to try it, and I'm sure if you've watched videos before, you're probably sick of me talking about that. But, you know, if I just actually tested it out to see, do I get any benefit from listing out daily practices in the monthly calendar? It seems kind of tedious and repetitive to me to list them out if I won't actually use them. So I have yet to do it. And obviously we want our planners to be helpful to us and not a burden. We don't want, you know, this is a hobby, but it's also supposed to be helpful in your life. So if I'm trying to force myself to do something and it really just creates more effort, then is that really helping me? So I'm kind of just rambling in this video, so I apologize. If you bear with me, I really appreciate it. Very much a ramble because I'm just trying to talk through it myself and figure out what I want to do and then try to justify it, I guess. And I realize there's no justification that needs to happen because I can do what I want. It's my planner and journal. But as I said, I have 3 weeks of weeklies, and what I'll plan to do, and hopefully I will get around to doing it, is I'll look at my phone calendar and I'll go back in and fill in all the events that we had on these days. And does that serve a purpose? Excuse me, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Am I going to look back on this someday and look at this week and say, what did we have this week? Do I care? Do I care in 20 years? If I don't need it right now, do I need it in 20 years? You know, because for me, that's why I journal, is because I want to remember cute or funny things that happen that my kids do, or just special things that I want to remember when I'm older and we can look back on and enjoy it. So that even then, I mean, that's a different topic, but sometimes when I'm journaling, I'm thinking, is there any point to this? Some of the things I write, but that's a separate video that we can talk about another time. Right now, I mostly just want to figure out my planning. Does it add any value to my life to actually have a planner? I don't know. I can't decide. And part of me feels like I'm forcing myself to use the planner for multiple reasons. One, because, oh my gosh, I absolutely love Sterling Inks planners. The font, the layout, everything is just beautiful. That's part of why I want to, all the pages at the beginning are so beautiful and put together nicely. So that's one reason I want to use it, is because I like the aesthetics of it. Another reason I think that I force myself to use it is because I think, what if I want to look at this someday? But I don't know. I don't think in 20 years, I'm going to very well remember we had practices every single night. Does it actually matter that on December 1st, there were the practices at this exact time? Probably not. I just know we had practices every day that we were driving to. But I think I'm trying to force myself to use it because I like the way it looks, and because I already purchased my 3 pocket planners for next year. So part of me is thinking, okay, you need to use them because you bought them. And I'm really trying to be conscientious of spending and how much I'm spending on stationery and not overbuying, as you've seen in other videos. For this 2025, I have multiple sizes and options that I go back and forth between, and I don't want to do that to myself in 2026. I want to only have one option to choose from, because it just makes my life easier if that's all I have to carry around, if it's the only option I have to pull out of my bag to ride in. So I'm really trying to not buy more than I need. So that's kind of why I'm thinking, okay, I need to force myself into using the weekly pages, because I have it already for 2026. So what I'm trying to decide, and I've shown this before, another setup that I have where I just have a monthly insert, which again, I need to start using. If I have monthly inserts, why have them if I don't use them? You know, and then I have a blank notebook from Sterling Ink, and I journal. And in the past, when I've used this, I'll set up weekly pages. I don't know if I have any in here of this version. I have a couple of these from this year that I've hopped around in, but I take the time to set up weekly pages in here. Well, do I really need to do that if I'm not using the weekly pages? I know I'm just rambling here and talking to myself. I appreciate you guys if you're here following along, and if you have feedback. I know what people will say. If they don't add any value to your life, then don't force yourself to use them. I know that's what everyone's going to tell me. I guess if you want to tell me the opposite and can justify why I should force myself to use them, then I would love to hear that reason why, because maybe it will be a reason I haven't thought of and I should try to use them. And I don't know, because then I could use blank. So my idea is, if I can have a consecutive thought here for you guys, what I'm thinking is, okay, do I just use blank notebooks and just purely journal? Because is that what matters most to me right now, is just keeping a journal? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Just, you know, have my 2 pages per day, and then have like an ongoing to-do list, or my to-do list in the back. That's really what I'm finding that I need right now. And granted, I will say the last 3 weeks have been totally chaotic between activities for kids and my work schedule. The amount of sleep I've had in the last few weeks, because I've been staying up late working on projects, filling out my planner has been the very bottom of the priority list. Because like I said, if I don't need it, I have all the times and schedules in my phone. I don't need it. It's not my biggest priority to get it filled out. So because my work schedule has been totally chaotic the last few weeks, it's been put on the back burner. But now it's basically like a silent to-do in my head, where I'm thinking, I really need to go in and fill this out, because I don't want to have a missing week, because I have all my other weeks filled in. And that's silly. Like, I shouldn't be creating a silent to-do list of something to do that isn't necessary. It doesn't do anything for me at this point to know that we had these events happening. That's just kind of where I'm at. Like, do I accept that right now in my life, all I really care about is my daily journaling, which I've done pretty well keeping up with. And if I don't, I should always flag pages before so I can show you examples, because I don't really know what's on my pages. It's never anything I don't write bad things. I'm fortunate. My life is, I love it. I don't have a lot of negativity in here, is what I'm trying to say. And that's just for me. I appreciate people who do write that in their journal. I don't need to, but I put in pencil is what I'm trying to get to from my rambling. I put in pencil what we did that day, because I haven't had time to write about Halloween day yet in my journal, but I write a few notes in pencil so that when I do get around to it, hopefully tonight, I can go back and document, because those little pencil marks will trigger what was going on. Is that all I care about? Is making a journal entry for the day and having a place to write my to-do list so that I don't forget things that do need to get done. What do you guys think? I also have other inserts. I have the weekly inserts from this year for the passport size that I could use if I wanted to. But, you know, use them if I want to try them out. I don't know. After making this video, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is just to do my journal, just a blank notebook, and just have my 2 pages per day of journal and an ongoing to-do list, and not worry about the weekly. But I say that out loud, and then in the exact next moment, I think to myself, but I already have 3 of these for next year. So just force yourself to use them. I don't. That's the dilemma I'm having. I appreciate any feedback anyone has. Do you guys struggle with keeping a journal and a planner? Do you just journal? Is that good enough? I know the answer is yes. Of course it is just good enough. I just think I have to accept for myself if I don't use the planning pages and don't need them. So that's where I'm at. I appreciate it if you've made it this far into my video. Well, I love feedback. I love chatting with you down on the comments. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. Enjoy your planner and journal time.